Good. Thank you.
Yeah, kept you all quiet for a minute. So yeah, I'm Richard Moody, Managing Director of Wolfenden Concrete. Ian asked me to just do a quick, I think you're all mostly Medatech users anyway. We're 12 months in now, so just asked me to give you a quick review of our journey. Like I say, we're 12 months in now, but the opening scene was just trying to say we manufacture concrete products, and the old adage of a picture tells 1,000 words was trying to do that. That's what we really do with the things that you don't see under a farm. You just see a farm building, we do all the things underneath the farm that the cows live in for their welfare. Where were we? What were we? We were a traditional lifestyle business, started in 1977 by an ex-farmer who started manufacturing products, try to improve the welfare on his own farm, and he just expanded from there, but it was always a lifestyle business. He brought me into the business probably 10, 12 years ago now, with a view to helping him build sales up enough to sell the company to third parties. Various reasons, our prospective buyers fell through from their own management buyout, fell through, and so in 5 years ago, last June, I executed a management buyout, but always knew that if I wanted to do that, what sort of step changes do we need to do to take it from a lifestyle business to an actual business that we could grow? Because we are one of only 3 manufacturers of these type of products left on mainland UK now. There's 56 importing from Ireland and then hundreds import from Europe. So we feel we did a big study and there's a big value in trying to develop into a bona fide business, but where do we do that? So right from the website, as market messages, what were we actually good at? We had some pretty unique products, but we are, as a lot of concrete and a lot of businesses, it's quite a mature market, and we're all a me too, so we all make the same products, and it's just driving the price down, hence why there's only 3 of us left in the UK, and a lot of cheap imports coming in from all around, let's say Northern Southern Ireland or Republic of Ireland, and all around Europe. So we're now trying to innovate, but we want to put the platform in to allow us to do that, and we were on Sage Line 50. So we originally, when we set up, we were on Sage Line 50, which didn't really, apart from a good accounting package, didn't really offer us any other focus. We started off saying, right, well, at the time we were only $1.5 million turnover company, then went to 2, grew to 2.5. We're hopefully going to hit 3.5 this year. So we do round about £1 million worth of quotes a month. So prospectively, we're already quoting £12 million worth of work. We have no way of monitoring that, any pipeline, nothing. So we looked originally for a CRM, and then involved all the staff. We then said, right, we actually don't want that. We actually, the shop floor, we'd all written in Excel in various other words, like a production management system that one of the directors had written as well. So we're combining, as a lot of your businesses will do as well, we'd combined lots of stuff and nothing had any function. You had to do lots and lots of different things to actually get where we needed to be. So we set out on the journey of looking at a full ERP system, not just a CRM. And we spent a lot of time. We went to various showcases, and we went with a company, and we spent probably £50,000 in licenses and training, and, you know, like you've seen round, in fairness, like the Medatech brochures, you know, in so many countries, so many users, so many live, we fell for the same thing. And COVID hit, so we did 18 months of the training. Had to put the training, and then went on to Zoom, which it just didn't work for our style of company at all. And we eventually went for a go live, probably 2 or 3 years ago now, on the 4th of January. And literally from go live number 1, every department that the accounts, nothing worked. The bank recs wouldn't work. They couldn't pull in the bank recs. Couldn't do anything. You would try to speak to your accountant, try to reconcile your monies, and if it won't reconcile, she's in tears with paperwork all over the floor. Nothing. The sales wouldn't work, and we had to go back to Texas all the time and say, "What the hell? I just need to switch this on." And I said, "You've now got 2 or 3 weeks, and you either do it or I'm writing you off." "Well, you won't write us off. You spent £50,000, and as a Yorkshireman, that's a lot of money." So, and eventually, I gave them 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and nothing. The only thing was working was the actual shop floor, the manufacturing suite. Nothing else would work whatsoever. So we actually scrapped the whole thing, went back to Sage, went back to manual tickets, and scrapped the whole system, went back to square one. But I was very keen to push on with it. We didn't want to let you leave it there. So where do we start when we'd already explored all these stuff? I'd already signed up for showcases, and you know yourselves from previous things, when you go to these things, a lot of people don't actually want to. If you're only a little company, a little SME, they don't want to talk to you, which sounds really strange when they try to sell a system. You're too small, or you know, you haven't got enough users. Sorry, that's an add-on. We wanted a system that we could just use out of the box, pretty much so. And we went to, but bear in mind we'd all had this sort of bad experience. It was quite difficult, and I booked appointments at the IT showcase in Leeds at the Royal Armouries. I did my homework as who was going to be there, booked appointments with various suppliers, and knew quite well. So there was the Tropos and a lot of stuff, systems that you will already have looked at yourselves, but then you say, well, that was developed for the pub industry, that was developed for that. So by the time I got round to speaking to Ian, I had a company called Medatech. I was totally put off by saying, oh, no, it must be for someone to do medical supplies. And Ian, poor lad, is trying to say, well, no, it's all right, we know what we're doing. I said, yeah, well, everyone says they know what we're doing, but he actually wanted our business. So I gave him a few tasks and just said, right, well, one of the simple functions that I wanted, coming from a sales background, was I actually wanted to give my staff the ability to negotiate on a screen. So can your system allow, we're dealing with farmers, they don't want £10,764, they'll say, I'll give you 10 grand for that. So I wanted the ability to say, what if I put 10 grand in, can I do that as a whole? And nearly every other system in there, apart from you going to your SAPs or your Infinities and your big Sage ones, but your other companies of a similar level said, no, can't do that. The system doesn't understand what 10,000 means because it can't divide it. And I said, well, it's just maths, surely. This whole thing is just maths. So Ian said, no, we can do that. I said, I don't believe you. You can't just keep saying yes to everything that I say. Yeah. So, and in fairness, I said, when I come and do your demonstration, I'll actually, we wanted some add-ons from day one. So we buy third-party products, so we try, as you saw with the farm there, we'll try to sell a solution, so we'll work with third parties to sell all the panels around the building. But those panels come in lengths from 5mm increments. Now, currently on Sage, you couldn't do anything. So I wanted a simple system whereby we're buying a price per square metre, we know what the weight is per square metre, and if a member of staff just puts in 5,330 millimetres, it comes up with the price and the weight, and it all brings it together. And in fairness to Medatech, when we had to start supplier, I think it was Jamal that then was working in the background and said, right, I've done this very quickly, and that's how it's going to work. And this is without even signing up. They've done quite a bit of development costs for me. And I said, right, well, these are the other things when we actually, everything, so the prices worked, everything worked, and we haven't got, and you're going to hear off Duncan in a bit, obviously there was a lot more development based. We're just a little company with no tech gurus whatsoever. So we wanted, and all the other systems, you need somebody who can write, develop the reports and everything else, where when you get into this, we just do all our own reports now. Everything's just very, very easy. But we have a couple of other things that we wanted off them as development thighs. So third-party, direct-to-site dropship, can it do that? Some of these systems couldn't do that. This does it very easily. And although we do manufacturing as well, we have a ready-mix concrete part, which, although is a manufacturing suite, we didn't want it to go through the whole process because it's just utilising raw products. So, again, Gidon, when we did eventually went live, said, no, we can do it in a very simple process. It's just, we'll do it a slightly different way, but at a one-button push. So it just uses all the raw materials, puts your price in, but it'll take everything out and you sell it per cubic metre and give you all the data that you need. Steel prices were quite important to us, as you saw there. A lot of the products that we make are big items with steel core, and there's a lot of reinforcement there, which were all to British standards. So there's a British standard shape code. As long as we were quite happy to set all the prices up, but steel's a commodity. So steel's up and down literally, and especially the last couple of years with COVID, it's been literally 24 hours that you've had to execute a price for steel. So I wanted a system where I could put in the price per tonne, but driven down to various departments. If it goes to the vendor, he gets a list down of individual items. If it goes to shop floor, it's the shape code. So all these codes went to different things, and it was just exactly the same, and comes back to what I said at the beginning. In my opinion, it's just maths. And the coding, I haven't got a clue what Ford is on about with all this coding, but it's just, but from a functional point of view, that's all we wanted. So we signed up. Yeah, we signed up, and bearing in mind that the whole staff were totally against any new system whatsoever because they'd had such a bad 2.5 years of a previous system. Poor Gideon had the task of trying to whip us into shape. And all they kept saying all the time is this what we do? Don't worry, this is what we do. We've done it for a long time. But we did think that we needed to go live as soon as possible, which sort of worried us a little bit after the training. So it was very intense training and very intense go live. And thankfully, nothing fell down. It's not without any issues, but nothing fell down. So that's without going, we won't finish on a negative, but then I put negatives down, but what I've put then to do is frustration, because when Ian asked me to do a thing, I says, well, I'm just going to throw roses at you. I'm sorry, but, it is a really good system. I'm very happy. But these are some of the frustrations we've had with going forward. So it's been difficult to get, because we have a different, every one of us have a different package. It's difficult to get that package across sometimes to the help desk. So it takes weeks. Sometimes you're in a little company and you phone it and you think it'll get resolved. It takes you, sometimes days and weeks to get things resolved, and it's a bit frustrating. The multi-shipment invoices it's still a big bone of contention with me. I put one through yesterday which had 10 deliveries on for the whole month, and I have to retype in the delivery address because it's a multi-shipment. It won't pull it through. So right from the good thing from going live is obviously you've got new customer through to quote, through to sales, it'll pull everything through until you actually go to a multi-shipment invoice, and it loses the address because it's a multi-shipment invoice. It could be multi-delivery, but so in my point of view, it's just a bit of a frustration where it could have a tick box and say it's all the same address. This whole thing about making it customer easier, that's one of the things. The customer page allows you to look at sort of quotes, but it should actually, in my opinion, should look at all the previous history. Now, it's whether we don't know how to do that yet, but we find it still quite fiddly to try and look on the customer page how to view all the previous history, not just the quotes and the current order, i.e. the previous orders. So you can look, in my idea, you should be able to scroll down and pick what you need to do. We still can't get to bottom randomly. We've got some things where it won't pull the addresses through on some quote conversions. We can't get to the bottom of it, and it's just a strange thing. And Ian actually did it yourself earlier on. When you're making changes in an order, which is only confirmed setting, you can spend 20 minutes doing loads and loads and loads of changes and get right to the end, and it'll say, you're not in draft, you're in confirmed. And you're like, why did it just stop me doing it from the first, half an hour ago? So, and yes, we do it somewhere, it does, but it would be better if there was a bit of a flag saying, please stop doing all that, you're going to waste half an hour, and then someone's going to start shouting and swearing in the office. And we'd be, this is a journey. We've found, I really do think it's a good people programme. But it wasn't, the cost and the training wasn't the be all and end all. We want to develop, I know Ford has mentioned, pushing like mad. One of the things that I did then with the Google Earth, I've a big promoter of I use Google Earth for everything, but it's all separately. So all my sales and everything's on Google Earth because we deal countrywide. And if you've got someone in Wales that doesn't know you, doesn't trust you, I can quickly put in a previous sales order, type me thing in as, I did Mr. Jones next to you. And it just, it just instantly does stuff. Now, the other stuff that you put on there, I think we've been pushing back with key marker locations and stuff we get on now for 12 months and before we went live to try and see if we can integrate it into Google Earth. So, but the point of the bottom part of the slide is I would rather get pushed by somebody and said, let's have a 6-month review and see, because we haven't even scratched the surface yet of what this system can do. And as they're already looking at then, the BI, when I'm looking at some of the other systems at the IT showcase, the individual dashboards that some of the other systems had was far better. But it does look like it's going to be something that will come on in future. So I didn't want to leave on a negative. On the positives, they might sound simple, but when you've gone from Sage, we can convert a prospect to a customer, convert that to a sales, to an order, all in one process now without changing. And from when you've come from a system that doesn't allow you to do that is a brilliant time saver rather than typing everything out 2 or 3 times. Price negotiation tool, as I say, when you're dealing with farmers is very, very good for us. We now change all our print and screen settings to suit our individual needs, whereas before we couldn't do it, we're just not skillful enough to do it. We can view total sales, outstanding quotes, all our business within the one system, really, than having to go into all the separate things. And the sort of positive note to lean on, so you can get your dinner, is it's already enhanced as business. Now, whether it has done that, but as I say, we've gone from, within 12 months, we'll have put nearly 700 to, maybe £1 million worth of sales on in a year. And has that allowed us to do it in some form? I can't put my finger on it, but it's made the whole process a lot easier. So, and I think that our development as a company, we've got ambitions to grow even further, and a lot of our suppliers now are saying, Medatech, your system seems to be quite good. So it was my choice, and our choice at that level, to go in at this type of, there should be more people, or maybe not in Ian's thing, you just go with priority, but actually wants to speak to you rather than putting you off, saying, no, you're too small. If it's my money, that's what we want to spend it on, because we think that's the vision for going forward. So that's us. Thank you for listening before your dinner. All right.
Thank you, Richard.